We are live. Welcome everybody to our Success Mastermind for Friday, October 23rd, 2020. John Lavenia here with you, as always, on Fridays. And I do see some of our esteemed members here. My goodness, let's take a look at these beautiful people. There's, of course, Adrian Garner and Adrian Jackson right next to each other on my screen. Koila, good to see you. Bill, Ego, Jane, and Neil. Congratulations, Neil. Just your arrival is a triumph here this morning or this afternoon in your case. I see Sylvia. Good to meet you, Sylvia. Mark, Evelyn, Mary, Evelyn, another Evelyn. Look at that. Two Adrians, two Evelyns right there. Jody, Gail, Edward. Good to see you, my friend. Ivier, or should I say Ivy Bernavis? Good to see you, Ivy. Kim, are you driving? Keep your eyes on the road, Kim. I see Nancy. No. Good times. Debbie, Coral, Mandy, looking brilliant as always. Caroline's glowing. David, I see the brains cooking in David's noggin over there. We're about to get something really profound out of him. Suzanne, Ace Man, good to see you, brother. God bless America. Let's go ahead. That's everyone who I can fit on one screen and everyone else who's joining us. Glad you're here. It is Fun Friday. So as is tradition, I did already hear a dog today before we went live. Neil, I don't know if you're feeling up to it. Maybe that would be a good thing for you to do is just play with the dog a little bit. Can we see your guys? Can we see your dog? For our new members, our policy is if a dog barks while your microphone is unmuted, you must present the dog. That is an actual obligation that you must do. Where's that beautiful puppy? Oh, there she is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and see if I can pin your... Oops, asked to unmute. I just muted you guys. I'm like clicking all the wrong buttons here. There she is. Hey, Jane, how old is that dog now?
She's 5.
5. What a sweetie.
She's been looking after Daddy all day, bless her.
She's very sensitive, this one.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's an emotional dog. I can see that. Very good. Very good. All right. Anybody else with a joke? Thank you guys for sharing.
I got a joke.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Lighten our day.
So why do we tell actors to, quote, break a leg?
Why?
Because every play has a cast.
Oh, there you go. I was
really bad.
going to give you a different answer.
Sure you were.
Caroline, you got something? You got a dog or you got a cat, don't you? No, not today.
Currently, I cannot see any of my furry beasts. So sorry.
Okay.
She will appear at some point. You know what she's like. Princess Leia. She likes to make an entrance.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Is David going to delight us with something witty and quippy? David?
I'm afraid not. I don't have any smart jokes today, but I've got one piece of news. Last Monday, I went into hospital and had a cataract removed from my right eye, so I can see clearly again.
Good.
Well, there's that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what? I've got a friend, a good friend. Actually, it was he was the best man at my wedding. He wound up getting laser cataract surgery, and like he couldn't see a damn thing before, and now he's like, bam, there it is, right? So, food for thought. Yeah, I mean, I could see okay up close, but like reading signs when I'm driving, especially at night. So anyway, good. Congratulations. Good on you there, David. All right. Anybody else? Before?
Can I add one more thing, please?
You can.
Today is my 65th birthday, and I'm
oh my goodness!
Happy birthday to you. Happy
David.
birthday to you.
All right.
Happy birthday, dear David.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Yay!
5 years young. Look at that. Well done,
Thank
sir.
you.
Symphonic
Thank
band
you
just
very
in the
much,
starts, man.
David.
That's it. Well done. Anybody else? Any other birthdays? I know we had a couple this week. Yeah, we good? Okay. So I want to also thank everyone for your good intentions. I know that some of you are aware that Shannon, our branding expert and my secret weapon, my wife, is in surgery going in now. So
Oh my God.
I spent my morning bringing her to the hospital, which was all the way on the other side of the valley. And fortunately got to do that before rush hour. But she says hello to everyone. She's got the best doctors. Everything's good. And we'll be seeing her again within, I'd say, a couple of weeks. On that note, a couple quick announcements before we get into whatever you guys want to talk about here today. As you can imagine, I am a bit scattered. Today, we do have integrative nutrition at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. 2, 3, 4:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And then add another 5 hours for UK time. We do have our final session for the week, which is an open forum. Just be heard is what we call it. Be heard. This is especially for our newer members or people who would like to be heard and not necessarily in a larger group setting like this. So that's where I come and I listen to whatever you want to talk about. Q&A. We got some pretty fun ideas that come out of that as well. A couple other quick announcements. We do have our week starting earlier than usual on Sunday afternoon/evening. We're going to have Metaphors with Success with Wayne Bradford at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Wayne would like to see if perhaps more of our friends from across the pond can attend at that time. So 3 + 6 is 9. I'm sorry, 3 + 5 is 8, right? So 8 p.m. There you go. I got so many time zones rolling around in my brain. And Thursday, the 29th, Yoga Basics with Nancy will be suspended for the week. Nancy's getting dental work, and so she'll be able to see clearly too. She's going to get cataract out of her teeth. And so watch the replays, of which there are, I think, 6. So there's that, right? You could do yoga for 6 hours straight if you want. So that being said, it is Fun Friday, and I'm thinking that we've had a tremendous and emotional week. Now, for our newer members or for people who are joining us on Facebook, YouTube, maybe you're seeing the replay, maybe you're seeing a live stream right now. By the way, you deserve an actual membership, because what you get to experience here that we push out public is just but a taste, just but a morsel of all the stuff that we've got going on here in the Success Mastermind group. We've got some amazingly talented people. We've also got some I would say, extraordinarily committed people. Committed to what? Committed to success, committed to principle-based living. And I think because I was just consulting with, this is interesting, I was just consulting with another e-commerce company. Many of you know that I do consulting work for product providers, educational programs, and people who are the purveyors of work online, work from home, different, systems and methods, because that's the space that I've been in for decades now. I really know that space. What I know most about that space is the people in that space. And anyway, I was talking to the CEO of a pretty major e-commerce training platform, and they are looking to have me come and participate with them, because they see the, and it wasn't like they just discovered this since they met me, okay, but they've known all along that the personal development, the psychological, emotional, spiritual, philosophical aspect of entrepreneurship is at least as important as all the tech, the nuts and bolts how-to stuff, which they teach, and they collect money for that, right? You pay to learn this stuff. That's just like going to any school. I think there's a huge advantage in learning a specialized skill, like, for example, running an e-commerce business, which many people on here do, right? So that's something that, rather than throwing $150,000 at a public university to learn basically nothing of worth in the marketplace, you could just spend a few thousand, maybe 10, maybe 20, whatever the price point is, and recoup that. Sure, the potential ROI, recoup that in 6 months, right? A year. Really depends on how hard and fast you go with it. I know when I was getting started in online business and all the things that I've had my hands in for decades now, my initial goal was to make $20,000 a month, right? So the entry cost, right, for getting into business and things, let's say it was, in fact, in my case, it really was about $25,000. Right. But within 90 days, because I really applied myself and applied principles, like we've been studying Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich in our book club. Right. One of the things that he said is that if you're one of those people that thinks that riches come through honesty and hard work alone, perish the thought. It's not true. Riches don't come just because of hard work. It doesn't necessarily mean hard work. I mean, you may do some work. You probably will, but riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands backed by the application of definite principles. Definite demands, definite principles. Those two things, right? Definite demands, definite principles. So if I think about, what is my role in all this? or back to my little anecdote here. So yeah, I may have put in, and I did put in tens of thousands of dollars, but in my case, I had a reason to, and I had enough intent and focus and ambition and definiteness of purpose that, my goodness, I recouped that in 90 days. I was making that per month. Now, does that make me special or something? Well, no, I assessed, here's the opportunity, here's the upside potential, right? Here's the downsides to it. Here's the opportunity cost. Here's all the other things I'm going to say no to. This is kind of like what we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about prioritizing, and Ivy Lee's suggestion to Charles Schwab. We got a couple open mics. Check your mic, whoever had a cough there. I can't see you, but there's a prioritization that can happen, and that should happen with anything that we're considering taking up as an opportunity, right? Here's something that I could spend my time, trade part of my life to acquire. Is it worth, this is one of the sort of the side notes of yesterday, is it worth my time? Is it worthy of me? A lot of times people ask, am I worthy of that goal? They may not vocalize that, but they think, oh, well, this is a big lofty goal. I don't know if I'm qualified. A lot of times this whole idea of worthiness, or there's a word that has been coined called deservability. This is something that people talk about if they have perhaps some low self-esteem that they've allowed themselves to adopt from wherever they got that from. Look around, look at their environment, look at their peers, look at their upbringing, right? Who's influencing them? Why are they not worthy? That's an interesting question. So a lot of times people may assume, well, maybe I'm not worthy of this goal. In my case, and I think this is something we can all take to the bank. In my case, I had to ask, is that goal worthy of me? You see, I was working, as people who know my story, I was working like 80 hours a week in a job where I was only making half of my goal. And no matter how much intent I put into that, I was barking up the wrong tree. I was in the wrong vehicle. You don't get paid what you're worth at a job. You get paid what the job is worth. So in my case, when I finally transitioned, or sought a way to transition, or engaged in a way that could allow me the option to transition out of that box that I was in for years, right? Sure, I hit my goal in 90 days. But it was like the rubber band had stretched so far that it was either going to snap. In fact, I ended up in the hospital because there was some snapping going on. I had a stress-induced condition, and in the early 30s, right? I was almost dead in my early 30s. And then, but that rubber band didn't snap to the point where, that's it, time's up. Okay. It actually propelled me, all that pressure, like an arrow, right? You pull on the bow, and it propelled me to move that much more definitely and swiftly towards a known goal that I had no deservability question in my mind. You're damn right I'm worthy of $20,000 a month. I'm already earning it. I'm just not getting paid. So what I'm thinking about today, and this is kind of a light topic, but at the same time, because it's Fun Friday, but at the same time, I think it deserves, or it could do some introspection, and that is, how bad do you want it? That's a question that I come back to again and again with people who I coach in the sales and marketing space, and what looks like I'll be doing with this e-commerce training group, right? Because there's a lot of people that want to learn how to make money online and do the e-commerce thing. Okay, well, as you guys know, the bigger question isn't what do you do? The bigger question is who's doing it? Who's doing it, right? Because just like Wallace Wattles talked about in the great book, The Science of Getting Rich, which will be going on our reading list, by the way, two people engaged in the same activity, the same business, even in the same town, can have completely different results. One gets rich, the other remains poor. Why? Well, the one who gets rich does things in the certain way. And in order to do things in the certain way, you've got to think in the certain way. There's the trick. There's the so-called secret. What are we talking about, the certain way? In fact, I know I've told you, some of you, this before. The first time I read that, actually the first 3 or 4 times I read that, I was like, all right, what is the certain way? Is it a special way? A secret way, perhaps? And how can this guy tell me? This was written in 1910. Wallace Wattles. He's talking about the guy running the barber shop in the colonial, in the woods or something, on the internet, man. What does this guy know? So I grabbed the best self-help book ever written. It's called The Dictionary. And I started looking up words. And one of those words was certain. And wouldn't you know it, definition, one of the definitions for certain is the absence of doubt, certainty. That's the certain way. And that transcends time. You're doing internet stuff. You're the barbershop guy in the colony, whatever. right? So the certain way, the way of no doubt, the way of definiteness of purpose and no counter intention. Much of what has slowed me down in my life is the internal fight, the cognitive dissonance, the inner conflict of intention versus counter intention. In fact, if I look at the anatomy of every problem I've ever had, behind it is that here's my goal and here's why I think I can't reach it, or why I shouldn't, or why I'm not worthy, or insert story here, insert BS story here to swallow up my time and stick me into a state of chronic indecision. Indecision. So as soon as we get decisive, I will have that. I'm worthy of that. I'm going for that. It is full throttle. Yes, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I don't care what you think. I'm obsessed. I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it. Well, I guess the universe is going to give it that, right? Well, if that's a demand, not a suggestion, but a demand, well, step right up. Step right up, sir, ma'am, right? What was that poem we read that was quoted in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, where he bargained with life for a penny, and his scant store, he would like more. It was a poem or something. But I guess the moral of the whole poem was, you can have whatever you want. You just got to make some demands, right? Stop bargaining for a penny. So I'm thinking about my own standards, and I'm thinking about each person here. I'm thinking about your standards. Here we are with less than 3 months left in this 2020 year. And I know some people, that's cause for celebration. My goodness, what a friggin' turd 2020 has been for a lot of people. On the other hand, my goodness, some of our stats are through the roof. My stats are up. I know because I get to do some business with some of you privately. Stats are way up. Nice. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean the stats have to end because the year ends, right? If you're on a winning streak, keep on winning. Okay. But at the same time, if you're looking at 2021 as somehow it's going to be different, well, that's because you're going to make it different. But it starts now. It starts now. Momentum. We hit the ground running. Let's say it's January 1st. And I know a lot of times people, this is an early conversation. We'll have this conversation again in December. Okay. But a lot of times people who have sort of a bastardized approach to personal development think, well, on January 1st, I'll have a New Year's resolution. And on that day, I will somehow have developed resolve, right? That's a virtue. Like, I don't have any resolve right now, but on that day I will. Again, BS. No, you either have resolve or you have no resolve, right? So never mind what the calendar says. I say that on January 1st, you're in so much momentum because you've got a 2.5 month head start that you make a spectacle of yourself and people think you're special. And who cares what they think? They probably don't anyway. But because people are just concerned about themselves, or they're watching 5 hours of Netflix. But you are making a spectacle of yourself because you started behaving with resolve now. And the reason you do that is because of the word that I just mentioned, which is standards. Standards. Here's one of the things that I know I've spoken with many of you about. And talking about goals, right? Goals, objectives, targets, right? Setting targets. What do you want, right? That's a good question, right? There should be an answer to that. It shouldn't be like deer in headlights. I don't know. But what a lot of people do is they lower their standards because they've accumulated losses throughout their years. And so that lowers their standards, their worthiness, their expectations of who they are and where they want to go. So with this e-commerce group, or with any individual that I'm talking to, because the main consideration is who's doing it, not what is the mechanism. There's as many paths as there are people to take them. I'm not the expert on that. Who's doing it? You need to be the expert on that. Who's pulling the trigger? Okay, great. So knowing that, what are your standards? And can we raise those standards, rehabilitate those standards to the point where you do not accept excuses from yourself, right? I know I've come out and I had this guy when I was newer in sales. He would be talking to a prospective customer, and they would throw out some excuse why they're stalling, why they're not buying at the moment. He said, "Yeah, that's a great excuse, probably the best one I've ever heard, but I don't buy it, and hopefully for your sake, you don't either." I was like, that was great. That was great. I've used that a couple of times and it works, by the way. You got to have really good rapport, right? You don't throw that at a stranger. But the idea is that if we raise our standards or rehabilitate them to the point where, let's say as like the childlike confidence, right? Like, oh yes, I can have that, right? We're not talking about limiting ourselves. We're talking about standards. We're not building the ceiling on the building. We're building the floor. Like, this is the minimum, 20,000 a month, whatever the number is, right? I'm not here to feed you numbers or put words in your mouth, but whatever your standards are that you've determined for yourself. This is a very self-determined thing, right? If you can rehabilitate that and with full certainty, there's that word, with certainty, know that, well, my goodness, other people do it. Why not me? Right? If you could have that level of assumption and expectation, because you really do get what you expect, suddenly we find ourselves out of indecision. We find ourselves in action, rapid action, right? Speed, money like speed. And so now, because my standards are higher or raised or rehabilitated or whatever, now I am not buying my own excuses or standing on ceremony or indecision, or call it whatever you want, in action, pissing away time like I'm immortal. No, right? Action now. Can we pretend that it's January 1st right now? I know this has been sort of a recurring theme over the last, I think, month or two, right? We talked a month or so ago about what can you accomplish in the next 90 days, right? We sort of set some targets, arbitrary, vague in terms of the group, but hopefully you got specific with it yourself, right? What can I accomplish in the next 90 days? And then make some decisions, claim it, name it and claim it. That accomplishment will occur. And then everything en route to that is done. We get to check stuff off. So my consideration for everyone, including myself here today, are my standards worthy of me? Is my goal worthy of me? Am I really clear about what that is? And in fact, have I decided to reach it? And I will know that because I will see myself in action. If no action, then no decision. To decide but not to act is to not have decided. You'll know you've decided because you will see your feet moving. Interesting question to introspect on a bit, not to introvert on, not to beat yourself up over. There was a word that came up yesterday. Thank you, Jamie Young. Fault versus responsibility. We're not assigning fault. We're assigning responsibility, and responsibility and control go hand in hand. You want to be causative. In other words, you want to be effective in your life. Well, you look in the mirror, right? That's who's responsible for that. You can have as much success as you're willing to be responsible for. Problem in my life is how much just damn irresponsibility I've demonstrated. Interesting, coming from the guy who wrote the book on personal integrity, right? Well, that's because I looked, right? I could look and see, here's how far I am from perfection, right? I guess it's another thing to, I don't know, I guess walk around in a cloud and think you've arrived or something. Perish the thought. In fact, run from people like that, right? Unless they're manifesting fish and loaves or something. You know what? It's good and right to go ahead and have a critical eye, trust but verify. So I'm thinking right now for this amazing group who I love, all of you. Thank you for being here on this mission with us. Just know that you're in, I think, the most important conversation, regardless of what path you're following to bring in the riches, right? And there's as many of those paths as there are people to take them. Just the fact that you're in a conversation that I think induces and is designed to induce increased ability, resourcefulness, and on-purpose living on the part of those participating, I think is the most noble thing. To quote Wallace Wattles one more time out of his classic Science of Getting Rich, it is one of the most noble pursuits you could have, to get rich, be successful. The best way to help the poor is to not be one of them. You want to help people, go get rich, right? Do that. And inspire those who are willing to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, right? Go inspired, go be a demonstration, an example to those who may not know that it's even possible. But now that they met you, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'll tell you what, every breakthrough I've had has come through the catalyst of someone else's instruction, mentoring, demonstration, coaching, example, right? I need evidence. Show me the evidence that this works. Show me the evidence that I can too. And you do that by your example. Hopefully I do that to a degree, not only here with the group, but with my daughter and with anyone who I touch in my time on this rock that we're flying around on at 20,000 miles per second or whatever the speed is. So I'm going to stop talking. It's Fun Friday. We've got dogs, we got cats. I got a hamster in the other room. I got Carlene with her hand up. So when Carlene's hand goes up, my mute button comes on and hers comes off. Carlene is the floor.
Oh.
Right.
That was actually really funny.
I love
Oh
you.
my God. Amazing, John, as usual. I mean, honestly, I didn't get a chance to speak yesterday because everything that you've been saying for the last few months since I've met you has always been right on the money. And it's Fun Friday, so I just wanted to share something with you guys. I have Ego's book here. I don't know how many people can see it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I got Ego's book. And let me just say, I do not consider myself to be a Christian. Thanks to colonialism, I made sure I had nothing to do with it. But what I will say is, I everything that I've been reading here and everything that makes someone a decent human being, I think that's the most important thing. I don't believe in labels, in religion. I don't believe in none of those labels. I believe in decent human beings. And I know decent human beings when I see one. John, you're one. Koila, Adrian, Gail, Bill. I believe in humanity. And this is what makes reading a book that has a lot of things to do with the Bible. It speaks to me because I realize that we can take the good bits from many of these biblical texts. We can take the good bits from it, the things that speak to our soul. We don't have to subscribe to those religions, but we know what speaks to our soul because they're basic, fundamental parts that make us who we are. And part of it is just being kind, being loving, being honest, being vulnerable, being transparent, being the integrity. As you say, John, all the time, integrity is everything. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what color skin you are. It doesn't matter. Once you are a decent human being, I relate to you. I am here for you. Ego's book, page 2, I'm crying. Page 2, I'm like, I was scared to read the book. I'm like, I don't want to read this book, you know. I said I was going to cry. I don't want to cry. But Ego's book, oh my God, like the first 2 pages, it was so moving. And it's like, I'm not trying to do a promotion for Ego, but I swear it was, and what makes it even more, the impact was greater because I know Ego now. I have the pleasure of meeting all these amazing people. I would have never known in a million years that I would have met a group of people who all are committed to just being the best version of themselves. And I am fortunate, I am honored to know every single one of you, every single person here on this call. I am fortunate, I am honored. I thank the universe every day for you guys. I thank you, John, for putting us and bringing us together. And if you don't have Ego's book, please get it because it is something that I'm going to pass on to my children. And Ego, thank you for putting your words here. By the way, everyone should write a book. I think we all have stories to tell. I want to hear something from Gail. Bill, you write a book. Koila, Adrian, Aceman, you guys have stories to tell. How would I have known so many things if Ego didn't put it into words? I mean, I think there are people on Fiverr we can get to write books for us. So everyone, even if it's a short story, get your words out there, get your story out there. Thank you again, John.
Thank you so much, my friend. And I know you're not promoting Ego's book, but I am. So there it is in the chat. I'll go ahead and share my screen so you could see. There it is, at least on the American version of Amazon. More Than Just My Hair, Journeying Through Cancer, Choosing Faith Over Fear. There you go. So everybody grab that. And you know what? Let's hear from Ego next. Ego, you've got the floor, my friend.
Colleen, you've set me off. Thank you so much. And John, thank you too. I'm not planning to talk about my book. Something you had said about, you mentioned a quote about the best way of helping the poor is by not being one of them. Mm-hmm. And, I think that quote just basically kind of sums up, what we talked about on Wednesday. We have these limiting beliefs that say, you don't deserve, to walk in abundance. That's a lie from the pit of hell, if you ask me. And I think that's, that quote just kind of sums it up. I actually had more to say, but, I'm kind of speechless. I thank everyone for your, for your love, for your support. It's amazing being in this group, and I'm just speechless. I'm overwhelmed with love and kind words. You know, it's just I just can't put it into words. So all I say is thank you.
Thank you, Ego. Beautiful stuff. And I think the principle that Carlene and Ego are both bringing up is that, as I've quoted before, principles before personalities, right? So maybe Carlene, in your case, you had some experience with people who identified as Christians, let's say, here's a label, and yet here are some principles that you'll find in Christian teachings and in Hindu teachings and over here and over there. It's the principles. Are they workable? That's my question. I don't give a damn about the label. Does it work? Right. So thank you, Carlene. Thank you, Ego. Let's go to Sylvia. Sylvia's got the floor. Sylvia, let's get Sylvia unmuted and get her camera running. Sylvia, you got your hand up, unless you're just clicking buttons and you're not sure what you're clicking on. Sylvia. Right. So we're not hearing from Sylvia. Let's go to Bill, and then Sylvia, if you would still like to speak, let's get you out here and do that. Hey, Bill.
Hi, guys. I wasn't going to speak today, but I couldn't not speak after Carlene spoke. I'd just like to say about, and I know this isn't the Ego show.
There it is.
But she's worthy of a show, so she is. There's a woman that has been through a hell of a lot, has a terrific spirit, has a fighting spirit, has courage, has wisdom, has love, and she oozes that multiple times. And I can tell you from my own experience, I'm glad I know her, because she's contacted me when I've been crap and reached out, and there's not a lot of people do that. You know, we're lucky we have very good people in this group that stick together in that aspect. But unworthy of beliefs, position, whatever, yeah, you bet Ego's worthy. She's more than worthy. That's why she gets so much money when it all comes here. But yeah, listen, John, that was great. Despite what you've got going on in your life, sir, you are on fire again today, and I thank you for that. It's good to get that kick off the backside, and I like that, making you think. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. I just realized I'm not wearing a black polo shirt today, so I'm glad you all recognized me. And you know what? It's when we talk about stuff that's real for us, it doesn't require a rehearsal or anything. You squeeze the orange, you get orange juice, right? The orange doesn't have to practice. So what I attempt to offer every day is what's actually working in my life, current present time, you know. I see Sylvia's hand is up again and no others. So unless we have a really short session, let's get a few hands up. Sylvia, you've got the floor.
Yeah, sorry, I had to run off for a second there. I couldn't answer the last, I had a minor emergency. So I can't even follow up on all the conversation that has just occurred. It's amazing. So I'm going to go light. And because it's Fun Friday, I'm going to show you my interesting cat, which was the reason I got called away. So I'm going to just,
I want to see that cat.
I'm going to walk you through, switch my camera because she's unique. So hang on here. Switch camera. How do I do that? There we go. I got it.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. What is that?
That is a serval.
Is that a cat?
That's a cat.
Wow.
But not a usual domestic cat. I want her to move so that you can actually get the true gist of who she is. But so when you said, John, join the conversation a moment ago, I had to unravel about 20 feet of yarn out of her. That's why I ran off for a second and turned my video off. So anyway, that's it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's Sylvia.
Trying to get my camera. There we go.
Wow. What a pretty cat. And I'm not like a cat guy or anything, but that is a gorgeous cat. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is it like some sort of a lynx or something?
Job.
Is it like in the lynx or leopard family or something like that?
She is called a serval, so she would be a cheetah cousin.
Cheetah. Wow.
Yeah.
She can run, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, although I don't let her out to run freely.
Yeah.
She has a large area that she can be outdoors, but not she would probably not come back home if I let her out.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your cat with us. Let's go to I saw Adrian's hand and now it's gone. And then we'll go to Ivier. Hey, Adrian Jackson, you there? Or did Adrian just have to undo yarn from his own life? That's it. We have a theme going on today. Just before you get the floor, you vanish. All right, let's go to Ivier.
I'm back here. I'm back here.
There he is.
Back here.
Right. You get the yarn out of your mouth.
I'm going to keep it short.
Yeah.
But who have met on this over the few months, we all seem to come from the same background. A lot of us where we've grown up struggling with money, struggling with challenges in our life, and we've got to this group, and the challenges are becoming easier because there's so many people on here who helps you when you're stuck. And I'm just so grateful for all that, because without this group, a lot of us will be struggling on our own. People like Echo, what she's gone through, and Kahad, who's not here today, and his parents, he's had a few deaths in the family. Who you can share that with people, and we can understand where they're coming from, and we can associate ourselves with them and help them to look at the positive side of things. And it's just amazing. It just really is. And I just think it's a great group. And I just want to say I am so glad that I've met you all, and you help me so much, and you help a lot of us in our individual issues and troubles and hurdles, and it's just amazing. And I just want to thank you all, and just keep on doing what you're doing, and we will get to the end of the journey, and we will get all the things we want. With this group, we will easily do it. There'll be no doubt about that. And I just thank you all, and that's all.
Thank you, Adrian. So glad you're here with us, man. We had missed you for a while there. Glad you found it. In fact, there's a few people who are looking for us. Go ahead and spread the word, right? We've got affiliate links for anyone who's looking to be affiliate of the group. It's a beautiful thing to do, is spread this conversation of success. I'll tell you one person who is always spreading joy to everyone who meets her is Ivier Barnabas, and we're going to hear from her right now.
Thank you so much, John. Oh boy, what an introduction. I know I say this a lot, but I am just so grateful that this group, this family, this tribe, my peeps, John, you've given birth to something here out of chaos, in the midst of a global pandemic. I mean, nobody, I think, coming into 2020 would have been, for 1 second thought that as we approach the end of the year, we would have such a large family crossing borders, crossing continents, and operating like we've known each other from the get-go. I mean, it's been 6 months tops, if we count the different platforms where we started and where we are now. But on this new platform, we're still, however way you slice or dice it, it's still a young group. It's still a short time frame. But to think of what we've achieved in that time, the bonds that are so strong, where, one person's down, look at how we rally. I mean, I'm thinking about Neil and Jane right now. Evelyn, you sent out that message, and look at how we just rose to the occasion. And it was a group hug. It was like a force of love just headed towards, Jane and Neil all the way in Brighton. And that was coming from the US, from Canada, from Australia. I mean, you name it. Now, where else on earth can you go and find this kind of connectivity, especially in the world we live in today? It's just not there. It's not possible. You're either paying for it, in which case it might be fake, and not authentic. But here we all are, coming in our own right, but connecting on levels that I'm not even sure. We're almost like bestest mates. And we've known each other, for less than a year? That's incredible. And then I think of you, John. I mean, if you had said you couldn't lead the session today, you couldn't facilitate today, I don't think anybody would have been upset because of everything you've got on your plate. But here you are leading by example. Nobody would have, criticized you. Nobody would have spoken ill of you. And if anybody had, the rest of us would have shut them down. But here you are, you've done the run to the hospital, and here you are, showed up on time, forget early, on time and early, and present and knocking the ball out of the park, where your mind could be in, gazillion other places. And you could easily have said, you know what, Jamie, stand in for me, or Mark, cover for me, or Adrian G, cover for me. But here you are leading by example. And that's what it's all about. That's why we will go with you wherever, because you don't just talk at us, you actually demonstrate everything you speak. And it's very rare to find that kind of leadership, that you want to sign up to, that you want to follow, that you want to emulate in today's world. So I just say thank you to you, John. And then, Ego, I don't know why you're surprised, girlfriend. You are an asset wherever you show up. I mean, whether it's on WhatsApp, whether it's on Facebook, wherever it is, you are just a woman of integrity. You are a woman of purpose, on purpose, destined for greatness. I mean, you're a woman of virtue. I mean, there is nothing you set your hands to that's not going to prosper, just because you have that burning desire and you don't start what you don't intend to finish. In fact, I believe that you already see the finish line in your mind before you actually take the first step in that journey. That's just who you are. When you say you're going to do something, you're committed, you show up every time, 100%, and you give more than what's required of you. So, the best for you is yet to come. I'm cheering you. I'm on the sidelines. I'm so expectant for the next chapter. Yes, this is just one book, but I can see many other books in the making, because I just think there's so much more to you. From a corporate perspective, you can write a book on that. It's just amazing, So I'm so grateful, to have met you, Ego. Carlene, you need to start by, leading this thing about writing a book, because this week, I don't know where this version of Carlene has come from, but as a family, we are all behind you. And girlfriend, just shine, keep shining, because this strength, this power that is coming through every time you speak, it's amazing. You can't bottle this anymore. So you've opened that tap, just let it run, girl, let it run. There's no going back to quiet self, hiding behind. Nah. You're out there now. You're on show. Give us all you've got. Bring it on. We are so grateful. Every time you speak now, we're all like, sitting on the edge of our seats, waiting to, what's Carlene going to say now? So, girlfriend, you can't go back to the shadows, right? You're in the spotlight now. Sorry. Bill, what can I say about you? I just look at you with your granddaughter and I'm just like, you are amazing. So I don't care how many crappy days you have, you are an amazing man inside and out. The fact that you are already creating a budding designer, a budding entrepreneur in a 3-year-old, that's generations after you're impacting. Your legacy is going to be so sound. You don't even know. Your name is going to speak well after you're gone, just because of the seeds you're planting today. So, bro, I'm behind you all the way. You're going places. The people you've met, you think you've met, you've rubbed shoulders with bee's knees, but I see further greatness coming for you and coming towards you. And this is just awesome. And that's just a piece of the pie in this family. There's so many people that we just want to see what you have on the inside of you. We can't wait for you to show up and share that part of you that you kind of like are second guessing yourself and thinking, oh, I may not have much to offer. You all have a lot to offer. And Sylvia, thank you so much. It's your first time with us, but you stepped up and you shared your lovely pet with us. So, bless you, and hopefully we'll see you again. Thanks, John. Back to you.
Thank you, Ivier. And you know what, with much requests from people here in the group, we're going to be looking to get you on the calendar with a regular Corporate Fables spot. You want to expand on that? Or in fact, I'm just wondering when you want to go live with that, so we can start this week if you want. So
I've worked on different continents and worked in different industries. And I was thinking, I've got lots of corporate stories that I could tell. And so I'm thinking of the theme, collectible corporate curios. And that's just amazing stories, from different countries, working with different people. And the first one will be titled "And the Oscar Goes To." So yeah, that will be the first. Yeah, that will be that will be the title for the first session.
All right, so there you go, everybody. Check the calendar. Ivy, I need to get with you and get that scheduled.
Yeah, cool.
Okay,
Thanks, John.
so we're adding yet more because we don't have enough already, right? We're adding more. So just when you think that it couldn't get any better, think again. Jane and Neil, you've got the floor. What's going on, you guys?
I won't be long because I'm very tired, but
Okay.
I just wanted to show my appreciation to you, John, for being here today for us all, even though your lovely wife is not with you. Also to everybody, especially Evelyn, at 4 o'clock my time this morning, I'm sitting there all alone. Husband's been taken off in an ambulance. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I can't speak when I'm emotional. And I'm sitting there thinking, who can I speak to? The UK is asleep. So I thought, I know. So I see that Evelyn's been active very recently. So I said, hi, Evelyn, are you still awake? And she said, yes, I am. What's up? And it all started from there. So thank you, Evelyn. You're a lovely, lovely soul. And we love you very much. And to everybody else, thank you. I appreciate it.
So glad you and Neil are here with us for our session today. Look, you know, we've got people that get through all kinds of stuff. We've got other people who aren't on here right now, who are going through some serious things, and hopefully they're tuning into the recordings and everything as their schedules permit. But I don't think anyone goes through life, you know, without having to solve some problems. And I just know that, as the old saying goes, there's strength in numbers, and to know that we're not alone, I think is priceless. I just how to communicate that, Jane, with the uninitiated, right? Here are people who are thinking, well, I just want to be successful in, you know, online business or something. Okay, well, there's a bit to that story, right? And for those who don't know, like maybe you're just watching this on YouTube or something, this group got together while I've been hosting mastermind sessions like this for the better part of 20 years. Most of the people in this group came out of an experience where we're just looking at, you know, make money online type stuff, right? Which sounds kind of thin compared to like the philosophy and the, you know, the camaraderie and everything else that we're talking about here now. But I'll tell you what, it's that commonality of purpose, and that like Napoleon Hill's talking about in the book we're reading, Think and Grow Rich, right? It's people are in harmony with that purpose. That's where the mastermind principle comes in. That's where, you know, two minds are, you know, the power of that is greater than just 1 + 1. So anyway, thank you, Jane. Thank you, Neil. Love you too. I don't see any other hands up. So why don't we either wrap up, unless we want to have a free for all or something. Anybody else got something to say before we get on with life?
I got another joke, John.
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. So a bear walks into a bar and says, "Give me a whiskey and cola." "Why the big pause?" asked the bartender. The bear shrugged. "I'm not sure. I was born with them."
The big pause. That's great. Virginia, what's up?
Hey, so my video's off because I'm laying in bed in my pajamas because I've had like less than 1 hour of sleep.
Oh, you got sleep.
Oh, wow.
Oh gosh, so I had to cancel all my appointments today, and I don't feel I'm safe to drive, but I'm talking because I hope those in the US and possibly Canada at least know that Colorado's on fire.
Oh, no.
We have all these fires going on. Oh yeah, Colorado's on fire around the Rocky Mountain National Park. We have huge evacuations going on. And my daughter, who is 42 years old, her longtime friend of about 20 some years, lives in one of those cities that had to be evacuated. So yesterday they came to us. We are not in the mountains, so we're, you know, down and a little bit east towards the plains. So no danger for our area, although we have a lot of smoke and ash. But yeah, so we took in the mother, the 3 teenagers, one of which is a special needs child with Down syndrome recovering from leukemia. And they're all vegans, and they brought their little dogs. So it's kind of fun to have people, but not, we wanted them to visit or us to visit them, but not under these circumstances. So they don't even know if they'll have a house to go back to. So the people in Oregon, and I know Therese was close there, and I'm trying to remember who else was up in that area that a few weeks ago was dealing with their fire. You can just Google Colorado's burning up there, and they say these three, and they think it was started by a campfire, and we've had a no burn restriction for months because we're so dry. But we need prayers. We need snow. We're supposed to have snow Sunday, and we need water. We need moisture to put these fires out. It went 20 miles in one day, changed the whole course of the flames. So huge going on. But just we could use some rain. Give us something. Give us some moisture, you guys. Okay.
Thank you for letting us know. And wow. Okay. So there's that. And I could tell you rain will be coming because I can tell you here in Arizona, it's been months and it's been one of the hottest and driest summers ever. So
us too. They said like in 5, I don't know how many years, but
yeah, I haven't seen a cloud like in months. So, but it's one of the reasons I live in Arizona. I like sun. So we'll go ahead and I believe wrap up. Oh, Bill, did you have a comment?
Okay. Cancel. Wrong button.
Oh, okay. You're good? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a joke.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So these kids were in school and the teacher says, who wants to tell me a story that has a moral? So of course, little Johnny raises his hand. She goes, okay, what do you got, little Johnny? He said, well, there was this little bird flying through the air. He hit a power line, broke his wing, landed on the ground, broke his leg. He's laying in the middle of the farmer's field. It gets really cold at night. He's freezing, stuck to the ground, can't get away. This cow walks along and dumps on him, right? Covers him with fecal matter.
Oh, man.
And the bird's like, But then pretty soon it warms him up. He gets to moving. He gets unfrozen from the ground. He's wiggling around. The cat sees the bird moving. The cat jumps down, uncovers him from the waist, and eats him. And the teacher says, okay, well, what's the moral of the story? He said, well, there's 3. He said, no matter what you are, things could be worse. What's this punchline? If you get covered in crap, you might be thankful. And you never know who your friends are. And the third one is, if you're covered in deep crap, keep your freaking mouth shut. I screwed the punchline up, but I just heard it a minute ago.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Ace Man. That's I've never heard that one before. Anyone else? That's a new one. Thank you, brother. Good to see you and good to see everyone. We're going to go ahead and wrap up for now. We do have our hospitality suite open, and we do, of course, have Therese Macelis with Integrative Nutrition at 4:30 Eastern. And then we'll be wrapping up the week at 6 p.m. Eastern on our open forum, Be Heard. You guys have a great day. You absolutely